Welcome to First and 10 with Rams football coach Joe Prud'homme. I'm Jimmy the St. Christopher. Rams had a bye this past weekend. 2 weeks ago, they went out to the Valley of the Sun, to Arizona, to the Phoenix area to play Ottawa University, and were beaten by 14 points, their first loss of the season. Coach, you're behind 24-0. I know it's difficult when you're in that big of a hole. How much of your game plan do you have to change when you're down by that much, that early?
A lot. A lot. You all of a sudden get into catch-up mode, and you know, it kind of limits what you can do or want to do. And you know, we got behind, and give Ottawa credit, man. We got all the way back to within 7, but boy, they put together 2 drives that really, you know, kind of put the nails in the coffin for us. We couldn't stop them on those last 2 drives, and had we, could have been a different outcome. But you know, we just didn't get it done when it was time to get it done. And you come from that far back, it's just really hard against a really great football team to make up that kind of ground.
And from the loss, what did you like and what didn't you like?
I like that we never gave up. I like that we fought. I like that we came back. I like that, you know, I thought the receivers in the passing game had a really good night. They were determined to stop the run. They did a good job with that. You know, we made some plays when we needed to. Bob had I think, 109-yard kickoff return called back. But we did have the penalty. I mean, there was a block in the back that sprung it. But I thought, you know, it kind of reset, refocus what we need to do and how we need to do it, and that's, you know, getting back to fundamental, you know, basic football and executing on a higher level. We just got behind, made too many mistakes, and you know that. But I did like our fight. We did fight to come back.
And on defense, Elijah Hall had 9 tackles, 5 of those solo. He was the SAC Player of the Week on defense this past week. He leads the NAIA with 16 tackles, 11 solos on the year. How proud are you when a player wins either defensive or offensive player?
Oh, I'm always proud of them. I mean, that's a big deal when they're named by the, you know, other people recognize their efforts, their contributions, their performances. I thought he had a great game. You know, he did bring a ball out and fumbled it on an interception return. But outside of that, I thought Elijah had a really strong game. He tackled well, you know, made some picks when we needed them. And it's always good, you know, when you get recognition from other people and objective sources.
And how much does that inspire other teammates when they win, like Player of the Week?
I don't know on an individual level what it does. I'm sure it does, to some degree, motivate them, that they want to do that, they want to be a part of that. But, you know, I like it, and the other part of it is I don't overplay it, because football is the ultimate team sport. And when you start worrying about individual awards, you can kind of lose focus on that team aspect. But no, they're proud of them, and I think everybody wants to play at a high level.
And you talked about no sacks and 3 fumbles lost, and Greg Blazer punting. He was replaced by Daniel Trejo. Is there anything wrong with Daniel, or did you just make a change?
Daniel was out for the first 2 games. You know, he had COVID protocol, and he got back. And you know, Daniel just has a real strong leg, and it was his first game back. You know, we're still going to use Blazer and Castillo. We're going to use all 3 of them. But when you want to flip the field and you need the big kicks, Daniel's really, really great at that. Blazer's great at pinning people inside the 20. And Trejo did a real good job on that. You know, he had a couple of those himself. Had a field goal. Was really instrumental in pinning them deep. So it was good. It was good to get Trejo back.
And as we said, the bye week was this past weekend. Take us through what you as a coach and your staff do when you don't have a game on a weekend.
You know, what we did this past week is we kind of refocused on ourselves, started to work on our fundamental stuff, things that you don't get a chance to work on every week. You get to dig a little deeper with it. We did that, focused on letting them get back a little bit, gave them some days off towards the end, and just try to let them, you know, reshuffle and recharge and kind of get ready for this upcoming game. You know, you get a lot more recruiting at that time, you know, getting everything together for that. So those bye weeks are really critical in that area.
I know you don't have a preference whether it comes early or late, but do you prefer a bye to come early or later in the season?
You know, the perfect world is right in the middle of the season. I mean, if you can get it after 5 games, that's great. What was good about this bye is we had our 2 longest road trips of the year. You know, we had OPSU ended up being 8-hour van rides for us driving them up there, and then going out to Phoenix and having that time change. And you do experience some jet lag in that area. You know, we came back, I experienced it, and I know our kids did as well. But it came at a good time after the 2 longest road trips of the season.
And you're home now for this weekend against Wayland Baptist, and then it's out on the road for 2 more weeks, and then back home for 2 weeks in a row. The only time this year that the Rams will play 2 consecutive games at home, but that's down the road. But immediately down the road is Wayland Baptist, and hey, they were outscored 99-0 in their 2 losses, but they had a big win over Texas College last week. And how do you see the Pioneers?
Oh, I think the Pioneers have a defense that's very sound, you know, very fundamental. They're not going to let you beat them deep. They're going to force you to drive the field. Offensively, you know, they got a good mix of offense, defense. They keep a good balance going. The kickers are strong. They've got some weapons on offense. And, you know, the thing about it is we got to play well to win. I mean, any conference game that we're in, we have to have a good effort. And if we don't have a solid effort, we're going to be in trouble. They're well coached. Butch always does a great job with them. So it's just a matter of us going out and executing and doing what we need to do. And yeah, we looked at them in the bye week and worked on them some, but we really tried to focus on ourselves and really kind of get us back to a level that, you know, we have to play at in order to be successful.
And they had a school record 7 picks, a blocked field goal, a blocked punt. Mm-hmm. Does that perk up the defensive coaches, or I should say the offensive coaches and the special teams coaches too, when they see that many picks and then that many blocks on special teams?
So, yeah, sure it does. I mean, you know, hopefully they used them all up. I mean, that's my hope is they got their season's worth in. But no, they're very opportunistic. They're going to go for making plays. They're going to try to force mistakes, turnovers, and that's part that goes back to that bend but not break theory that the more you have to drive, the further you have to go, the more possibility of making a mistake, and they'll feed off of that. And they made some really nice interception plays, and individually there were some real good performances for them. And you know, it's just a matter of us going out and protecting the football, getting the most of the big plays, the chunk plays, and just win the turnover battle more than anything else, and limit our penalties and limit big play and big mistakes.
I understand you have a new practice field now. You were practicing at Farrington where you play the home games. You're at Clark. Is that an advantage, having change in practice fields like halfway through the season?
I mean, who knows? It's for us, we're kind of used to it. We're kind of used to being bumped around a little bit. But we were actually at Hanley, practicing at Hanley. Then we had to do the walkthroughs at Farrington and play the games at Farrington. But we're going to move over to Clark this week coming up, and then for the foreseeable next 4 weeks, I believe it is. They're about to film a movie, another football Fort Worth-based movie here. It's about the older gentleman that played at Sul Ross in his 50s. It's called The Senior, and they're going to use Hanley as a backdrop and as part of their filming. So,
you go back to Wayland. You beat them a couple of years ago. Of course, 2 games last year canceled because of COVID, but it was a resounding 24-6 home victory in 2019. So 2 out of 3 now in the series against the Pioneers. So. Is that an advantage, having, you know, the season series or the, I guess, career series advantage?
I don't know. You'd have to go back. There's been so much that's happened since then with the COVID and the changing of rosters, and just so much stuff has gone on that, I mean, it's always good to know that you've had success playing them, but there's also the theory that that's also ancient history. It's just like any other thing. You try to turn the page, get on to the next ball game, and right now that's who we're looking to play. Wayland. Everything that we're working on is to have success against Wayland, and but yeah, I would think that that doesn't hurt.
Well, Coach, go get them this weekend against the Wayland Baptist Pioneers. It'll be a 1:55 airtime for Brendan Snow and myself on ramsports.edu or ramsports.net. I always want to say ramsports.net. It's ramsports.net. 1:55 will hit the air, and then of course 2 hours before in the east parking lot of Farrington it'll be tailgating, and that's 2 hours before. And then don't forget the new traditional Rams walk, which at the home opener a couple weeks ago they debuted that a couple weeks with the Rams walk, and the team walks in around the stadium on, you know, the north end of the stadium, on the rim, and then down to, you know, to the bench. So how did you like that? Did that work out okay? Do you like that as an inspiration?
Oh, I love it. I think it's great because it promotes unity. It promotes, you know, you have the Texas flag, you have the United States flag, you got the Don't Tread on Me, and then you got, you know, the Wesleyan flag. So it meant a lot to our guys, and the gentlemen that carried the flags all have parents who are either first responders or in the service. So that makes it even more important, you know, to us. And no, I think it's a great addition. It was Coach McLean's brainchild, and I think it's very appropriate, and it just sets the stage for, you know, a great college football game.
Coach, we'll see you next week. Good luck this weekend against the Wayland Baptist Pioneers. Game time 2 o'clock at Farrington on Saturday. Can't make it to the game. We'll air it on ramsports.net at 1:55. For Coach Joe Prud'homme, for Ricky Dotson, for Ryan Keating, and our crack producer, Ken Flowers, Jimmy the St. Christopher, saying so long. See you next week on 1st and 10.